Okay, hopefully it is recording. Yeah, it's saying recording. So yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
Should we start, sir, everyone?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yes. Vijay, sir, can you just share the poster that we have prepared? It is not getting.
Oh, I will have to send it to my email. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, let me open it here. Okay, let me download it. And okay, I'm going to share my screen. Can you see it?
It's still loading, Vijay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Monali, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. We will let students come. I will start now. Khushi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so you can just turn on your video also, okay? I am facing some range problem.
Same here, ma'am.
Yes. So,
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, Khushi. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, I'll start. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all
Khushi,
settled in.
Khushi, wait, I will start and then you can just start, okay?
Okay, ma'am, okay.
Yes. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am Miss Monali Mahajan, Assistant Professor from Computer Engineering Department. Welcome you all for this guidance session on placement preparation. So this session is organized by our 3 departments, that is Computer Engineering, AIDS and CST. And that is in association with a non-profit organization, that is FiftyIsNifty. So now I request Khushi to proceed further with the introduction and entire agenda of the today's session. Khushi, next to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today we have an extraordinary lineup of speakers with us who are going to share their knowledge and experience. So without further add-ons, let's meet them. Our first speaker is someone with over 30 years of experience in information technologies. He has worked with renowned companies like Coca-Cola, PwC, etc. for last 24 years and has been making waves at Oracle, working on a cutting-edge technologies like Gen AI and data warehousing. He is also a co-founder of a fantastic non-profit organization called 50IsNifty. So please welcome Mr. Vijay Agarwal. Kindly turn off your audio. Nishant, okay. Sobia, please turn off your audio. Okay. Our next expert has a deep-rooted expertise in developing Java and J2EE applications and cloud computing. With over 30 years of experience, he is a well-versed in agile development and has served as Scrum Master with exceptional skill in cloud-native database applications, data warehousing, and reporting solutions. Please welcome Mr. Raghuveer Rao. Now, moving forward, we have our next speaker who is a forefront of technological innovations working on building metaverses for customers. With over 25 years of experience, he has been leading technology transformations for Fortune 500 companies and has been granted patents in IoT solutions. A warm welcome to Mr. Kuruvilla Matthew, sir. Finally, we have a seasoned IT leader with over 30 years of experience in IT services, infrastructure management, cloud strategies, and digitalization. He's worked over industries like BFSI, healthcare, and retail, and has played a crucial role in setting up Indian operations for global organizations. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Chinnari Badrinath. I request all the distinct speakers to kindly share their experience with us. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Thank you,
mostly
Prissy.
we call CB, we generally call him Prusty, so that's how he's known to all of us. But I just want to mention that.
Okay, sir.
Sure. Okay.
Hello.
You can start, sir.
Okay, I'll stop share. So, ma'am, I think you have some questions you want to ask from students. So we can first take those questions and then maybe open up for all the students if they have further questions.
Yes.
I request Anuj to continue the questions.
Yes, Anuj.
Good evening, sir. I am Anuj Suryavanshi. I would like to ask some questions regarding interview preparation. How should I prepare for technical interviews?
Sure, maybe Raghu or
Yeah,
Matthew or anyone.
sure. So one of the key things for preparing for an interview is learn about the company for which you are interviewing, and talk to other people who have interviewed in that particular place. Figure out what the interview process is, what kind of questions that they ask. If it's a software development company, then one of the things that you could do is do some practice problems in lead code, at least do the easy level, and if possible, go up to the medium level to see if it is that you're able to do those problems. It's not essential that you do every single problem, but at least try to attempt them, to try to see what kind of get a feel of how the questions are, right? So that'll be one thing that I would say. And the other thing is be confident, be presentable. What they are hiring you for is your potential and your enthusiasm. So be enthusiastic, be willing to learn. And that would be, that'll go a long way in putting you ahead of the line among all the aspirants for that position.
Yeah, I would like to add a couple of things, right? When you go for a technical interview, know the area that you have applied for. So say, for example, it is in, an area where, a Java skill or a C# skill or a Python skill is to be applied. Know those subjects well. And if you're coming newly from a fresh graduate, there is not that much expectation that is put. So don't, try to embellish what you know, but what, you need to be very sincere about is what specifically you have, understood about that language or that programming construct, right? And also your final year project. I ask all the people who are fresh out of college what they did in their final year project and what other core fundamental courses that you have done and how much depth of knowledge you have. You'll be surprised that some of those questions, if you're not paying attention to your classes, will kind of like derail you very easily. So those fundamentals are super important for you when you are presenting yourself and making sure you have got that presence of mind. Now, that is only comes with experience, I know, but practice yourself in front of people. Say do it in front of mirrors, but also use other friends and other classmates and professors who are to do a couple of dry runs and be ready for having those vivas with people so that you are comfortable in taking a technical interview. And as Raghu mentioned, make sure that you have practiced enough, you have worked on enough number of algorithms, you have worked on enough number of languages. That is what is they are looking for hiring. So you are complete from that perspective.
Yeah, Prusty, maybe if you want to say something.
Yeah, I think Raghu and Kurbil has aided all this thing, but my 2 cents are, you should be, as Raghu mentioned, that you need to be mastery on what you are going to do. In the sense, mastery in the not sense as an expert, but if you are giving a Python test or if you're giving a say .NET test, you need to be aware of what kind of test you are going to face. So practice it in the college or in the leisure time, which will help you to build your knowledge base. That's one. Second is that little bit about the role also company also is very important because various companies ask various types of tests. Okay, that is and also the kind of coding you will do, whether if it is a coding test, it is not only the write the program, but how well you have written the program also is very important. And how ease way of writing the code is very important. Okay, and nowadays a lot of people that do the first level interviews or online test, or they come to the campus, they keep it an online test for you. So may not be much important on the appearance at that level, but when you go to the next level, I'll come back to you that how will you prepare for yourself to attend the personal interviews or the face-to-face interviews and all. From a technical point of view, you decide what is your core expertise, because there are various subjects, vast subjects are there, and it no need to be panic on that. And if you don't know, clearly say no, that I am not aware of this skill, or I will have to go to the other skills test, because normally we give 2 options, 3 options when a guy comes from a technical test, right? Depending on the role we are hiring, I have seen in industry that we give that is area of interest. So when you say that this is your my area of interest, be expertise on that. That's what I can say. And I think Kurivila said, as said, right, your practice and in the fourth year, the final year, the project you do, and on the language you do, what language you are making the projects and all these things, that's very important. Keep that handy with you, understand about the company, and also take input from your seniors, right? If somebody has attended the interview, say for example, if you're attending the interview for a Google or Amazon or something, please understand that, to talk to their peers, see that what kind of test they throw you or what kind of questions may come, so it will help you to better prepare.
Yeah, I would also add, I think, Prishti, you just mentioned that knowing about the company is very important. What you want to show them is you are interested in that company and you have done some kind of some information about that company. So when you are answering your questions, if you can bring that, hey, yeah, I know that you like whatever, let's say Oracle, you do a lot of data warehousing, databases, and I'm interested in that. That helps the interviewer also that, hey, you've done some homework and you know about our company. So
one thing I would add is that also prepare a little bit of interpersonal questions. Usually companies like to ask you, what is your core competency? What is your strength? What is your weaknesses? And things like that. How do you tell me about a time where you had a conflict with someone and how did you resolve it? And things like that. These are like some interpersonal questions which take a little bit of practice, right? I mean, if someone were to ask me out of the blue, it'll be very difficult for me to come up with an answer. So it'll be a good idea to prepare make a list of interpersonal questions, ask other people who have interviewed, make a list of those, and then prepare for those. That'll be one thing that I would suggest. And the other thing is that if you go for a coding interview and things like that, you would be surprised that a lot of people ask questions, some very, very remote areas of what we have studied, right? I mean, the big O notation of software complexity, that comes up a lot. I mean, it is probably one small section in the courses that we have done, but that comes up a lot. The database normalization, that comes up a lot. So there are some few things which we think are not so important when we're doing this thing, but they come up a lot in interviews. Pay attention to those.
Yes. Should we take next question, sir?
Yeah,
Thank you,
if
sir.
you don't have.
Anuj, next, please.
I look forward to Suraj for further questions.
Yes, Suraj.
Okay, sir,
Yeah, I
good
would also
evening.
say, I think make it, sorry, interrupt. I'd say make it interactive. If you have like like all of us are replying to you on that question, if you still have like further questions on that, you can feel free to ask that. We don't need to go through all the questions, but it should be, it's important that whatever you ask, you understand what all of us are saying, and then if you have any follow up on that, you can. But yeah, keep it interactive. So yeah, go ahead, sorry, Anuj.
Yes, yes. So before asking next question, students, you can ask in between also if you want anything or any doubt related to these predefined questions. So please you can turn on your mic and you can ask. Yes, Suraj, next to you.
In continuation with the previous question, I would like to ask what are the websites or sources that are available for technical preparation?
Yeah. So for me, you would do lead code. They have a few good questions that you can go and practice on software development. One book I would recommend is Clean Code by Robert Martin. That's a very good resource that kind of gives you how to write good code, right? And what are the things which makes the code more readable, maintainable, and things like that. So that'll be one other resource that I would do. And the other thing is scan the internet board to see what other people have said, right? I mean, if you go to some LinkedIn or Workplace, or you will be able to get some questions about the company, like what they have asked in the previous this thing. So that'll be a good place to start.
Yes.
Yeah, one thing that I will add is that we are beginning to enter into an age where there is going to be a lot of low code and no code constructs, right? So you're going to be faced with a big challenge, which is programming languages and constructs will start to diminish, where it is really important for you to understand concepts like business concepts. And if you are writing a claim system or a policy management or a banking, so you need to build a lot of the techno-functional knowledge. And that is where we are heading towards. So you may want to start looking at those concepts, and I'm not sure how much is incorporated part of the curriculum today, but just make sure that you understand those those constructs so that you know how to answer it. One great place. So there are a lot of online sources that you can go to, like Coursera, that have got a lot of initial concepts and also detailed concepts. Google has got many initial and detailed concepts in each of those areas. like you have while you are studying AI and machine learning, and with new generative AI coming in, there are so many different elements that are there. So there are a couple of sources, but one place where you can go and really understand from a code perspective, look at how other people are building code, is go and make sure that you have a GitHub account, and you are looking at how other people write. Also publish what you're doing, or be part of an open source group, or a group that is coding. So that is the best place to go and learn coding styles. So if you're looking at code, you can look at those coding styles, and then various other references you will get from that GitHub.
Yeah. And one more point to add, guys, right? Don't just depend on the website or sources, right? I feel that yes, Uncle Google has got everything now. The Chat GPT has got everything. You put the question and it gives you everything on the writing the well versed code to so things. But I also suggest that suppose if you are going to attend a vertical, BFSI vertical, and the banking vertical, or a financial vertical, or insurance, or a healthcare vertical, understand the critical problem statement of those things, and go to the Google and search that, because see today nowadays what is happening, people seniors like who has already cracked the interview, they just publish the code and the entire exams and everything they publish on that, right? So you can go and see the type of things which is coming, which will give you a little bit of a knowledge, but don't depends on that. Okay, I personally feel that you should not depend on that. That's my personal view. I don't know what others feels, but you should be prepared for the technical, what is the technology behind that, and the vertical domain you have. Suppose, for example, if you are going to a pharma industry interview, right? So a little bit gain about the pharma industry problem, typical problems, and what they could ask you to solve the problems. That is more critical. Please try to add domain with technology. Okay, don't forget that the technology is one thing, right? See, at the end of the day, we have to solve a business problem of a company. If you are not solving the business problem of the company, how better code? It doesn't make sense. So please focus on that also. I'm sure that you guys are smart enough to gather those knowledges from various sources that are available, and be good. That's what I can suggest. And yes, that GitHub and all these things are there available. Be a part of that. Be a part of that group, so you know how the coding, how they writes the code. Well written codes and all these things that is there. And focus on Chat GPT, not fully, but I try to understand, gain the flavor of coding and all these things. So Chat GPT helps, really helps in today's world.
Yeah. Like Matthew had already said, it'll be nice if you can add a LinkedIn profile, create a LinkedIn profile, ask other people you have worked with, your professors or the people you have done projects with, to add some recommendations about you, or write something about you. That'll be one good thing. And then have a public GitHub repository where you have published some code, right? If someone wants to go and look up what your coding style is, or what is your level of understanding of a particular language, they should be able to go and do it. So those two things would definitely help.
Absolutely.
Sir, I have another question. Which are the best coding practices which we need to follow in today's competitive world?
Yeah. My suggestion is Clean Code by Robert Martin. They call him Uncle Bob. So that is one good resource. The other is reading good code, right? I may not be able to write good code, but I should know what kind of, go to some public GitHub repositories, go read the code which other people have written. That kind of gives you an idea of what is a good maintainable code, right? Some code, if you look at it, right, you will be able to understand what it is trying to do easily. And for some other things, it'll work functionally perfectly well. But if you try to read it or debug it, it's going to be very difficult to do, right? So it's the thing is, like, if you want to learn how to write good code, you have to practice reading good code. Go to different sources, read good code, and you can also read up on clean code. That's book I put on the chat. If you see if you can, your library can get that. That's a good resource.
Can I proceed with the next question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so how do you think AI will change the future of jobs? Also, are people at risk for losing their jobs because of AI, or new opportunities will come up? And what do we do to get ready for the changes in tech world because of AI?
So that is a really important moment, right? Especially with the introduction of generative AI and all the transformers that are there. This was already coming in. A lot of the commodity functions, right, are going to be affected, right? So, for example, some of the commonly used, capability that is there is going to go away. And we have already seen that happen in some of the industries that it is completely being replaced. So, for example, customer service, a lot of the customer service is gone to a AI assisted service where you not only have something called the you have chatbots, and then you have got conversational engines, but now you are starting to see a introduction of an agentic framework and agentic engines that are coming that's completely changing the game, right? So there are several areas where we see that AI is going to change. We are also seeing places in pharma, in some of the manufacturing areas where computer vision is being used, which is very sophisticated areas, whether it is in the manufacturing process, looking at systems, looking at machines, whether it is in the logistics management or warehouse management, various areas, stages of the supply chain, we are starting to see AI being applied. Now, this is what I would say that all of you have a very strong advantage. You are the ones who are going to be crafting the solutions that will be on top of it. So don't get scared with AI, or kind of like, I'm sure you're not, but don't have inhibitions of using AI. You are the ones who are going to use AI to craft future solutions, right? You're going to be the ones who are going to leverage it to benefit for various different processes, right? Or solving different problems. So Prishti mentioned a very important part of problem solving. You need to become problem solvers, right? You don't become then don't get trapped into AI on what it is taking your job. It's not going to take your job. But what you're going to do is that how you can harness the capabilities of AI to build solutions that solve very unique problems, right? And today we need to solve different kinds of problems, and we need to solve problems really quickly. So look at what happened during COVID, right? The entire world was brought to its knees. But because of a lot of AI, there is a lot of research that was done, several different processes that were used for companies like Thermo Fisher, Medtronic, Pfizer. All of them came up with solutions that had to come together to really use some of these advanced technologies leveraging AI to solve the problems. So really that it comes down to solving it from that perspective.
Okay. My take is that AI ML is going to affect the future of software development. That's a given, right? So is it going to replace all your jobs? No, that's not going to happen. So I see this happening in two phases. First is like you will use AI and ML to write the code that you would have regularly written in your day-to-day work, right? So something like Cursor or the plugins with VS Code, etc., Copilot and things like that. They are going to be useful. So they're going to play a big part in software development in the coming future, right? I mean, right now people are evaluating it. I'm pretty sure in a few years, in a few months, this will become part of the process in a lot of companies. I know for a fact that Google already uses these code templates in their software development process, right? I mean, they have all these large language models which gives code templates which they use in this thing. The fact that that AI ML is going to take over your job, that's going to be a little far off. It's not going to happen in the next 5 years, 10 years. There are certain segments where things are going to go away, like things which are easily repeatable, right? All the repeatable tasks which people do over and over again. Those are the jobs which are going to go away first. But the things which require some intellectual capacity for you to do, those will take a little more longer time to go away. So the suggestion is like learn to use some plugins. Cursor ID is one of them. VS Code Copilot, if you can use them. Learn to use that. Learn to see how you can hint so that you get good code generation out of it. So those are the two suggestions that I have. Well, the Infosys founder, right, Nandan Nilekani, he said that even though most of the research in AI and ML is happening in US, but majority of the applications of AI and ML, right, where the fundamental research which has been used to come up with solutions for the public, like the public facing use cases, etc. Most of that is going to be done in India, right? So you guys are placed, you are in the right place at the right time to ride that wave. So if you show some interest, learn a little bit of AI and ML, I'm sure you guys will have a very good career ahead of you.
And to add what Kurivila and Raghu said, guys, don't get scared of the job will go. I think AI will add more jobs in coming years. Okay, only the jobs will might go which are the more on the operational support jobs, right? The L1 kind of a jobs which is can be done through the automation. So pick up some automation skills and some product knowledge on the AI edge of Raghu and Kuribila mentioned. One is Copilot. You can look at Gemini. Okay, Gemini also has been used in most of the now people organizations are using, and various boutique products are also there in the AI, AI. Using and all these thing product. Understand those products which will help you and focus on towards more automation and data driven things that will help you to create more opportunity for you. I think as Matthew mentioned, right, is you are rightly placed now. You are lucky to have those kind of technology available with you while you are coming out. So it's a great opportunity. Grab it, and I'm sure you guys are much more advanced than us. What we learned in our time, what we picked up in our way, I think you guys are more advanced, and I am very hopeful that you will catch up this, you will pick up this, and create opportunity. Okay, the AI is not going to take the jobs, it will increase. In fact, I was going through one of the report, right? In the from a 24 to 2030, the Gen I is going to growing from a 1% to 24%. Okay, so that's the kind of market you will get in India or outside the India. Plus, if you look at, I don't know how many of you are following the GCCs. GCC in the sense is the global capability centers, which are opened up in India. Everybody shops, they open the GCC. And the GCC in India are focused on the basically the product-based organizations and all this thing. And they are just pumping. They are just coming India. And the target is another 800 to 900 GCC will be open up in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai over the period of 3 to 5 years. So there is an ample scope, and a lot of companies are spending on the AI. See, for example, all the IT service companies, the prediction is that they are going to spend 90% of their cost into the coding. So it is a very good news for the computer engineering students and AI and the students to pick up that and do the needful. I think grab the opportunity instead of looking at losing the opportunity. That is what I can say. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I would also
Yeah,
like
thank
to add,
you.
I think to the same point, that what I have seen is, and you might be looking at news, every company wants to get into that Gen AI bandwagon. That means there is ample opportunity for you guys to learn and be part of that workforce. Every company, every product wants to think about Gen AI. So there is actually a lot of work, at least for next 5-10 years. So don't be scared about that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Yes. Khushi, who is next now?
Kundan,
Kundan?
please continue.
Yes, are you there, Kundan?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, all. So we student always look to improve our interview experience to make better impression in front of our interviewer. So I would like to know, in your experience, what would be a way to prepare for personal interview that would be very impactful in our preparation journey?
Okay. So may I take it, Vijay?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Okay.
please.
So first thing, I think first thing you should, when you are going for an interview, face-to-face interview, right? You should be look positive. Your body language should good, well dressed. What I mean say well dressed means properly dressed. Okay, to the interview, and your communication has to be clear and crisp. Okay, whatever you want to say it clearly. That is very important because I have seen in my experience a lot of people, they know the subject, but they are not able to present or articulate in front of the interviewer. Okay, so that is very critical. So I would suggest, if you like practicing in front of mirror, do it. Normally I don't do it, but I think that is a lot of people follow that practice to make them more feel confidence. Okay, and and everything, I tell you, whatever it is, the best part is that attitude. How you address to the problem at that situation is very important. Okay, and it's not necessary that the interviewer are looking for a right solution for that question what he or she asked. Trust me, guys. I have taken so many interviews. I have gone through all this cycle. So I don't look at he has to give me 100% or she has to give me an 100% answer. But I want to see that how his or her approach to to the question to solve it. Okay, that's very important, and how he communicates. Because see, at some point of time, even if you are a technical guy, even if you are a coder, if you are a programmer, but communication has to be crisp, because when you get into the industry, right, you will work with your peers, you will work on to your business analyst, your project managers, your team managers. So you need to be very clear on communication, understanding what he or she is saying or what you understanding from that communication. That's very critical. And don't get nervous. It is obvious that we can say now, because after 30 years of experience, we feel that, okay, you should not be nervous. But I'm also telling you, please try to see not to be nervous. Go on confidently and be truthful. If you do not know any answer, say no. Don't try to jumble here and there to answer something, because it will more confuse the interviewer than anybody else. Okay, I've seen people trying to, even if they don't know the question, they'll say, "Ah, yes, I've done that," and please focus on what you have done. So because you are coming from college, right? People are not expecting anything out of the world to you. They will also say that, okay, this guy has just studied final year. So focus on final year projects, what you have done. Explain to him why you have chosen that project, what is the thought process behind it, how it helps in the industry. Talk about that. Talk about your strengths. Okay, forget about weakness. Everybody has got a weakness. Okay, I don't work on my weakness, and I don't advise also people to work their weakness, because you make your strength so strong, weakness automatically will reduce. Okay, so focus on your strengths. What you know best, try to project that to the interviews, and I'm sure you will go through that. And having said that, be clean, be little bit presentable on while you are going. That's very critical and very important.
Yeah. So one thing I would add to what Prishti said is that when you go for an interview, listen to the questions carefully. Make sure that you understand the question correctly before you answer the question. It's always okay to ask follow-on questions to understand what is being asked of you, right? So that is something which an interviewer will look for, that did you understand the question, right? Some people will come up with canned answers to questions, right? And that may or may not help you in the long run. But understanding your approach to a particular problem, right, or whatever is being said, is something what the interviewer is looking for, right? Did you understand the question? What kind of follow-on questions did you ask? How did you articulate your answers, right? Those are some things which people are going to be looking at. So that is something that I would suggest that you do. Other thing is that in your interviews, learn about the company. What is the product that they're working on? What is the business domain that they're working on? Also learn about the interviewer. Go to a LinkedIn profile. If you know who the interviewer is going to be, go see what kind of work he's doing. Does he have any research papers or products that he has worked on, etc. So you can talk about those in your interviews. Those are the few things that I would suggest.
So, I'd like to add a couple of things, the ones that Prishti brought up and Raghu also alluded to, which is on you're bound to be nervous. Everyone is nervous, right? So that is a given fact. When we were in college, Dr. V.D. Barve was our principal, and he used to give us some very good points, and that was on meditation and breathing. You need to know how to breathe, right? And take deep breaths, calm yourself down, right? And you will not believe how much regulating your breathing is going to calm you down, and it will make you less nervous. Also, before a session or before coming in, hydrate yourself, right? Most people, you are always hyperventilating, and your mouth becomes dry. Your water comes into your eyes. A lot of these things will affect the way you deliver. And then when you have got a dry throat or a dry mouth, you'll always get very nervous, and it'll kind of like add on to it. I'm sure many of you or all of you practice some meditation. Get into that mode, calm yourself down, regulate your breathing, and that will help you a lot with the nervousness.
Sir, I would like to continue my question. That is, as you all mentioned in your previous responses, that what kind of platform that we can look forward to prepare for our technical interview as well. And for preparing personal interview, as we know, self-improvisation and realization of things are important, as you mentioned. So is there any platform or certain resources are available where we can actually demonstrate our preparation that that is going well, or identify which kind of mistakes, or yeah, what kind of resources we can use for our personal interview preparation?
See, I would suggest, if possibility that, if you know somebody in that company, seniors have joined, or your relatives are there, or somebody, or you with your professor, do some mock interview, okay, so that it will really free you, and you will be more calm and more tension free when you go for an actual interview. Okay, that's critical. And as Raghu mentioned also, see, when you are in the interview process, please focus on listening. Okay, normally because when we are in interviewing, we get excited and we want to say about ourselves, what we have done, and blah blah blah. But I think you also give opportunity to the interviewer and listen to his or her question, what he or she is asking, understand, and then answer it that way. Okay, and plus, uh, even it is in a technical interview, right? Uh, Focus on your some hobbies or some likes, what you do other than the studies, or other than what you do, because not a lot of the people tend to ask what you do, right, other than the technology things and all, right? So if you have something, you should show to them, tell them, so that it brings more conversation, more friendly, okay, rather than little bit, that will ease your conversation. Okay, and if you really answer to no, you can politely say, no, I don't know, but I can give a try. I can give a try. And suppose if you have a couple of examples to give, it is always better to go to the whiteboard. Okay, and so them on a mentioning and creating that, it is more appealing than talking. Okay, so I've seen that, I have put a lot of candidates in my own way, that, okay, why don't you go and explain to us on that? So people are fond of that. So some interviews may ask you, okay, so like that. So you should be prepared for the whiteboarding if required. Okay, so but if you want to practice, I think you do one with your professors, right? I'm sure they will help you, seniors will help you, or any one of your KK work seniors, even if you don't know them, right? Get in touch with them through LinkedIn. If you guys want any kind of a personal mentoring, I'm sure we all will be available in a short period of time. If you want any help, right, we all are there to help you to get into the industry, right? So don't hesitate to reach out to your seniors, and be positive, right? And as you mentioned, I think I am also learning from Matthew, right? I should do meditate, right? It's more good. It's a good tip he has given to us. Meditation, and which will keep you calm. Normally my jobs are very stressful and all these things. So maybe I can start practicing meditation. It's breathing. That's good. I forgot. And I do little bit of meditation here and there, but I think what Matthew is saying, right? Regular meditation will help to calm and control and all these things. So focus on that, do that. And another thing I want to tell you, very, very funny, but very interesting. You don't know what kind of interviewer you will face, right? So suppose you are a good in rapper. Okay, if you are a rapper, if you are good in a rapper, tell him that I'm good in rapping. So he or she might ask, okay, rap it. So rap it there only. I'm telling you, it creates a lot of positive impact. Or if you're good in something, right, you tell him there. Even on the technology side, for example, you are going for a .NET, but you're good in Python. Tell him that I'm good in Python. Okay, I'm sure interviewers are very inquisitive. They also ask, okay, you know Python, let's go to Python. Tell me what you know in Python, right? How do you do that? Okay, so don't focus on one. Okay, keep your expertise with you and throw it as it comes, and be calm, as you mentioned. I think those are the few tips are there, but the mock interview will help you a lot. If you want that to practice, do with your seniors, do with your professor, do with your colleagues also, because some of the things will come from your colleagues also, right? They also will help you. So do that. I'm sure things will help you.
Yeah. one thing I would like to add is that most of the questions which come out in an interview the starting point is going to be your resume, right? They're going to look at some keyword in your resume, whatever you put, right? And they're going to ask you questions about that particular thing, right? So one thing is to prepare to answer questions about everything that you have put on your resume, right? So if you put in that you're really good in AI and ML, and they ask you some basic questions about AI and ML, and you're not able to answer it, that puts a very bad impression on the interviewer. So the starting point is write a good resume, make your resume good, and put in all the keywords which you are good at, right? So that will get you the questions which you can answer very well in the interview. That's tip number one. Tip number two is that interviewing takes practice. There's no getting around it. There's no silver bullet for it. So let's say you're interested in joining Infosys, right? For example, if Infosys is your dream company, that's where you want to go. Don't schedule an interview, Infosys interview, to be the first interview. Don't do that. Go do like 3 or 4 interviews, and then the 4th or 5th interview, pick your dream company and schedule that particular interview, right? The questions that you get in the first 2 or 3 interviews, right? What kind of questions you got, what were your responses, and things like that is going to help you a long way in doing really well in the interview that you're aiming for. So if you go to any interview, if you remember the questions which they asked, please note them down. Please note down those questions. And once you come back, you can prepare for those questions for the other next round or with other companies that you're interviewing for. So those 2 things will definitely help.
Yeah.
I
So
think
Kundan,
points
Sorry, create
Go ahead,
a little bit of a elevator pitch. Okay, so little bit of elevator pitch of 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute will help you. And normally, see, you might have seen, right? Or first, the common question. Okay, tell me about yourself. Okay, so start with some elevator pitch. Don't tell that, okay, I am CB Prusti, having finally a student of KKW and all that. That he knows because you have already presented the CV, right? So start with the highlights of your project, what you are doing, give little bit of the project experience, little bit of technical expertise, what you have done. That will really drive the interviewer more interest towards you. So creates that kind of a small, very brief elevator pitch that will help you. Sorry, Matthew, please go ahead.
Yeah, so Kundan, you asked a very interesting question. I was thinking that was a very interesting way, like what is a platform? One platform that all of you have is there are hundreds of hackathons and ideathons that are run all around the world, right? Participate in the hackathons, right? It'll give you very good pulse of not only how you stand, but how you stand with others in the competition. So my company, we just finished a hackathon last week, and we had a global hackathon. So when you participate in global hackathon, just don't do local hackathons. Local hackathons is very helpful, but also start participating in larger groups so that you have a diversity of groups that you will be interacting with and how you work within teams. So hackathon teams, so if you form hackathon teams, I'm sure some of you do that. But that is a very good place because when you go to these hackathons, there are like very good questions that they will ask you. So learn from that because there are companies. And then when you win those or participate in those, that can be used when you go to the interviews to say that, okay, I participated in so many hackathons and that was the problems that you solved, right? So it will show that, okay, you're already accustomed to working in a 24-hour hackathon or a week hackathon. So they know that you are accustomed to pressure, right? So mentally that is a great place. And then take all of those results of those hackathons and post it on your GitHub accounts, right? That is, then you say that, okay, this is what I've done. And that actually will showcase your strengths.
Yeah, I think Matthew, you bring up a very good point. And Monali ma'am, I was talking to you, maybe at some point as alumni, we may also arrange an hackathon for KKWAD students. Maybe we will see if there is enough interest from alumni and also from the college. So that's one. The other, I think I was just writing some notes. So we are also thinking to do like a mentor-mentee kind of website where all of our alumni, whoever is interested, they can join and put their qualifications, etc. And Monali ma'am, you can maybe coordinate from college for mentees or students to maybe have like a half an hour, 1 hour session, wherever the mentors are interested to maybe talk one-on-one. I think Christy also brought that up. And I think the third point I was writing in my notes is, again, these mock interviews, now ChatGPT has a multimodal, right? So there you can actually do a mock interview with ChatGPT, and you can put your prompts to say, how's my English, or how's my communication, and it will give you answers, and it will give you questions. You answer the questions, and it will be able to even tell you right there is what you can update or give you the feedback. So that's another tool maybe you can start using. I'm sure there are other AI tools also like that, but I know ChatGPT does that. So
yeah, one thing which if you want to showcase what you've already done, one good thing is contributing to open source projects. So you don't have to write a lot of good code or anything. Just go through the bug reports or whatever are there for any open source project. Pick anything and look at the bug reports of these open source projects. And it could be as simple as adding a documentation to a particular method or whatever it is there, or adding a unit test or fixing a very small bug, etc. Right? If you're able to do that, then it shows two things, right? One, it shows that you are interested in technology, etc. And the second thing is it knows, it kind of showcases that you know the process, right? You know how to raise a pull request. They know how it shows that you know how Git works, or how versioning works, right? They also know how code formatting works, and what is so that you have met all the code coverages, etc. It'll also give like a how do you incorporate feedback for your code request, etc. So it teaches you a lot of process. Learning the process is something which is going to go a long way in your software development career. So as a manager, your manager is going to look at how well you follow the process. Every company is going to have a process, and you should be able to follow the process, right? I mean, software development is about repeatable processes, and every company has come up with their own version of a repeatable process, and you should have the ability to follow that particular process. And if you can demonstrate that you have been doing that, and if you have been working on that, that'll go a long way in putting you ahead of other people in the line.
So I quickly wanted to, because we are already at an hour here, and I want to make sure everyone's time. I know Matthew is already 6:30 maybe morning now, his time. Yeah. Maybe we can take maybe one more question. Before that, I just wanted to say a lot of our alumni are interested and passionate to help students. Manali ma'am. I know Matthew was telling me he had some internships opportunities. Raghu was also saying, I'm sure Christy has. I do surely have. So we will try to maybe formulate all of those. So send those to you, Manali ma'am. Just make sure you don't send us too many resumes of students. Maybe that you like 1 or 2 or 3 for each internship, so that we can look through that and then maybe select some candidates.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we can take one more question and then maybe we can stop and then continue maybe on a group chat or somewhere later.
Yes, so any one question? Sakshi, you there? Asked one question only, last one.
Sir, I have a question about the current trends in industries on which the student should focus on. Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Good,
Sir,
Matthew.
my question was what are the current trends in industries that the student should focus on?
Yeah. Matthew, you want to take that?
Sure. So a lot of areas that, especially the line of work that I'm involved in involves innovation. And some of the innovative tracks that we are looking at is, AI, of course, is on the top of the radar, right? It's AI, machine learning, that is, but some of the trends underneath it are things like computer vision, audio analysis, some of the modernization, how you apply AI to solve other problems, right? So that is the application of AI to solve different problems is an area that is fast. That's a very big trend. The application of generative transformers, right? The GPTs, that is a big thing. Now, in the industry, there is also a lot of confusion that companies have on how generative transformers is going to be applied. While there is a need to apply these generative transformers, there is also a very high liability that organizations have. So what are the guardrails for AI is becoming a big area of importance. So that's a big trend in terms of AI guardrails as well as responsible AI, right? So those are things. While AI is general, but there are like, how are you going to use responsible AI? How do you use explainable AI? Those are like big trends that are coming up. The rate at which edge computing is, so IoT, I'm sure all of you have very well versed with IoT, but edge compute and AI on chip is also a big area that is being focused on. So having a mix of both hardware and software is a big area of propulsion forward. There are things in Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0, which is digital twins, simulation, and some of the additive manufacturing. Those areas have got lot of initiatives that are going on, and those are some of the big trends that are happening. And in semiconductor, we are already starting to see some of the 3-nanometer technology coming in. That with the 3-nanometer technology, that means that there will be higher packing density, and also some of the AI that can be put on the system on chip is going to be huge. Already we are starting to see some of the chips being released by NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel is far behind on that. But now they are starting to talk about 2-nanometer, right? So that trend is going to grow, and there is a huge focus on design and all of those. So while you are looking at, okay, how do I get a job? You should also think on, there are so many entrepreneurial opportunities that are there. So think like an entrepreneur too, right? Don't limit yourself to, okay, I just want to get a job. Think of what you can do and change based on the technologies that you know or the concepts that you are building out, right? So it is going to be really helpful to see the trend, and then you will find a nuance, right? You will see a gap, right? So these are some of the big trends that are happening, and just wanted to briefly mention about the digital twin. Digital twin in the past couple of years, like the past 2-3 years, has gone, just exponential growth in multiple different enterprises. So applying that is going to be a very important area to kind of like focus on and understand the technology, because there are a lot of orthogonal technologies that are coming there that is going to really be differentiated and differentiating as we go forward.
Yeah, I would second that. IoT is one area where a lot of future work is going to happen. So learning about IoT, the protocols which are used for IoT transport, etc., those will be really interesting to work on. The second is data engineering. So enterprises have a lot of data. They have been collecting a lot of data over the period of years, and some of the data, they really don't know what to do with it. They know that there is some interesting data hidden in there. It's for you to go and explore what that data is and try to monetize that particular data, right? So that will be one area where data engineering is one area which is going to be of a lot of interest for companies, right? And they are all the AI ML work which is going to happen is going to happen on top of this data engineering thing. So all the IoT work is also going to happen over and above this IoT. How do you deal with large amounts of data? How do you deal with streaming data? How do you transform data? How do you run reports, analytics, visualization on data? That is going to be one of the key areas where people are going to put in a lot of money on. So that would be something that I would suggest that you do. One thing I would suggest is also go look at YouTube videos about thought leaders in that particular area, right? Whatever we say in this thing may be something which is good, but there are a lot of YouTube videos about the head of Geo, right? He has Geo Communications, right? He has a video on what is the future of AI ML. What is the future of AI ML in planning, better infrastructure, better cities, etc. Right? I mean, he has come up with like an 8-step evolution of AI and ML and things like that. That will be something which will be interesting to hear. So stay curious, Google out these thought leaders in these areas, the head of Infosys, the head of Wipro, TCS, etc. They have, you can probably find some interviews about them talking about the future of AI, future of technology, etc. That will be something which you would, that would help you guide in the right direction.
Yes. Yes, Vijay sir.
Yeah, ma'am. So I think, like I said, we're already past 1 hour. Hopefully this session helped. And between Matthew, Prushti, Raghu, and I, there's 100 plus years of experience right now, right?
Yes.
So hopefully our
You make us sound old,
talk.
Vijay. You're making us sound old.
Right. No, but I mean, I was looking at, I was thinking like we'll be able to cover like 20 questions here. but the passion and experience everyone has brought in here to answer questions, I'm sure students and Monali ma'am, you got some good
Yes.
suggestions, advice, etc. And we will try to continue doing more, and maybe some other ideas, as I said, between Raghu, Matthew, and Prusti, there are lots of new ideas, new innovative things to help the college, and we'll continue to do that.
Yes, sir, sure. Rucha, are you there?
Yes.
So just propose vote of thanks as the questions are already over.
Yes, sure.
On your video, if possible, Rucha.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
One thing, if there are any questions that you would still want to be answered, just put them on the chat. And this probably is going to be on for the next 3 or 4 minutes. And if there is anything that we missed or something, we'll be able to send you a reply by email or send it to Monali ma'am, and she can forward it to you.
Sure, sure, sure.
As we come to the close of this wonderful event, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone who has made this session truly memorable. First and foremost, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed guests who took time to share their knowledge and experiences with us today. To Mr. Vijay Agrawal, thank you for your insights on the ever-evolving world of technology. To Mr. Raghuveer Rao, your expertise in software development and cloud computing has broadened our understanding of what's possible through innovation. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. To Mr. Kurvila Matthew, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your vision for what's next in technology. That is something we will carry forward with excitement. And last but not the least, to Mr. Chinnari Prusti, your practical insights on IT transformation and business growth have been invaluable. A special thank you goes to Monali ma'am and Smita ma'am for being the guiding force behind this event and for her leadership in making today possible. Your support and vision are deeply appreciated. A special thanks to Shweta ma'am as well, and to each and every one of you. Your wonderful participation. Thank you for being an engaged and enthusiastic audience. Thank you all and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I see a quick,
Again,
a quick question. Yes. I'm sorry, I was going to say there is a question. I'll try to, maybe Raghu or someone can answer that later. And I'll send whatever we figure that out and send to you.
Sir, I would personally like to thank Vijay sir for arranging this session and all others for the wonderful insights to our students. Sir, we will connect again for more sessions.
Sure. I'm sure, like I said, all our alumni are very passionate to help our students. Yes. We have gone through that college initial stages, so I'm sure everyone would be interested. So yes, sure, ma'am.
Yes.
We will.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.